So this is a conversation between me and award-winning DP Matt Porwoll, talking about locations and location scouting. And mostly we're talking about how we don't really get to do location scouts, and most of the locations we shoot in are less than ideal because we shoot documentary. I'm Ben Bloodwell. I've been lucky enough to spend the last 18 years shooting documentaries and documentary-style commercials. And recently, in between jobs, I've begun conducting these casual conversations with other DPs on a variety of topics that I think would be very interesting to people just starting out in the industry. I hope you find them informative. If you want to learn more about Matt Porwoll, you should click on this link where you can listen to our whole conversation where we talk about a variety of topics. If you just want to hear us talking about locations and location scouting, then stay tuned. I don't know about you. I very rarely, every once in a while I get a project where they're very meticulous about scouting, and it makes me really happy because for me, location is like at least half the job for cinematography. Getting a great location, especially for like interviews and things like that, like a place that doesn't have all white walls, it's like half the job. When they throw you in these like a terrible small space, it's like I'm going to do the best anyone can do in this space, but it's good. The limitation won't be my skill here, Right. How often do you get to scout a location? What does it look like for you on most of these projects?
I would say it's actually getting better. It used to be you never got to scout much. I think it's also hard to say is that, when you're doing a pure vérité film, you're not scouting anything because you're only going to be in that place. You don't get to choose where you're going to end up. Yeah. Certainly it's nice to be able to go in and figure out what kind of gear you need, but also with a vérité film, if you're doing the same places a lot, you will be back and you can augment further down the road. But yeah, all of it just goes to like scout's great because it just gives you more information. We may not be able to change anything about it, but at least I have an idea of what I'm walking into. But I think what's funny to me is that most people want to do a scout so that I can figure out how I'm going to light it, which I'm like, I'm not going to light it. This is a doc. Like I want to go in.
It's nice to know if you need to light it. Like you might walk into a situation where you're like, which is honestly few and far between.
Yeah. Like
I agree.
You can turn some lights on and off and close some windows and orient which way you're going to look and they're lit.
Right.
But I like to just think about it of like more of are we planning on shooting in the entire house? So if we have a crew and we have gear, where are we going to put them?
Right.
If we're going to roll up cars, I can see the road or the driveway out of the living room window. So let's put them somewhere else. It's like, it's more those logistics for me that's important in a scout and honestly less so than like my job of how am I going to light it? Because I'm generally not going to, because as soon as you start setting up lights, you've now restricted the movement of everything else. So I would rather just find it.
Yeah. You have to tell everyone where to be. Like that's the whole thing with vérité. You can't block light shoot in vérité. Like that defeats the whole purpose. You're following them. You're literally like, I can't tell you how I'm going to light this because I don't know where that person's going to sit. I don't know where this, I've had that conversation a lot with some directors as well. That's often like, well, can we light it so that everything, and it's like, well, yeah, they're done. or
the window's right there.
or like you said, often, almost all the time, it's just turning off lights or like maybe throwing something on a window or every once, like if it's a lot of fluorescence or low hanging, that's the big thing for me is like the really spotty top, what are those called? The
those like the cans.
Yeah, those cans. Like it's like, oh great, we can go in ahead of time and just quickly tape up some diffusion over those or something. Like just. It's like problem
Little
solving.
Things.
Yeah, exactly. It's not,
right.
I agree 100%. Yeah. Because once you set up one light, you got to light the whole thing. You can't.
Everything.
Yeah.
And that's where the logistics are important because for me, I'm most likely not going to light it. So I need to, and we're going to be hopefully wanting to, allowing them to move through their house freely.
Right.
So for me, it's not about which way is the sun coming because we're not adjusting our schedule to make that work. It's more of where can I hide everyone?
Right.
Because I don't want any of you here. As much as we were talking about crew, like when the camera goes, I don't want anybody in the room. I mean, I'll take sound.
Yeah. Sound will be in the room. The right sound mixer.
If I get another docked sound mixer that shows up
with a cart.
Yeah. Or only lavs, I'm like, just pick up the boom and walk.
Yeah. Let me introduce you to Peter Miller. Yeah, the location. I mean, one of the things I do try to do, and this is different. It's like, it's interesting. Like vérité has come to mean so many different things now. And it's very rare you're actually shooting a vérité project. I hate to say it. Like when people say like, oh, it's all vérité. And then they're like, well, we're getting the location a half hour before them so we can get ready. And it's like, well, what? Like, okay. Like, and then it becomes, exactly what you're saying. Like, well, where do we want them to be? Oh, should they be a conversation around the dining room table? It's like, I don't know.
It's not vérité.
Is it going to be? Do you have a crystal ball? I don't know where they're going to sit. And then, and again, like, I've definitely, that sounds really snobby or whatever. And I've learned in those situations, if that's what the director wants, of course we can do. I will always propose we let them do their thing and we follow them. Like, it's always going to be better. It's always going to feel less, but we've become so trained with reality shows, like viewers and the people in the show, they feel like, oh, here's the scene. Everyone sits in the couch and like sits and they talk to each other. And that's normal. And it's like, well, that's not normal. Like, that's not, why is that normal? You walk into the house, you just sit in a couch for 2 hours and I don't know.
Well, I think it's hard. Like, I think early in the beginning, our brains were trained a certain way of what vérité was. And when that becomes the foundation, it becomes very difficult, at least for me, to deviate from that. Like I never let it show, but whenever somebody sits in or comes in and says, well, so where should they sit? Do you want them sitting here or there? I'm like, I don't care.
Right.
I will find the shot that makes sense based on them doing what they're doing and being comfortable.
Right.
And it's the same as when it comes to lighting. Like, we never lit anything before, and now we have to do it less than we had to before because the cameras are so sensitive and the range is there. Right. But I was trained to be purely reactionary, and that's where I'm comfortable. But when I have all the time in the world to like build something from scratch, I don't even know where to start. Right. Because it's like, I don't know, just that's where I want to see the blocking first. Like, where are they going to land? I don't care. And then we'll make it happen. Right. But I think that whole mentality, and that's a slight deviation, but just, I think that just let people do what they're going to do, and it'll make everything better. Yeah, I always say in that situation where they're like, well, where do you want to sit? Where do you want them to sit? And they're already like in holding somewhere. So it's like, we've already given up on the idea that we're just following them into the situation. But I'm the same as you. I'm always like, let's see where they sit and let's let it play out. If they end up sitting in a place that has some overwhelming technical, they're very dark skinned and they sat in front of this blast out window, maybe we'll say, oh, you know what? Why don't you just go over there? Like, maybe just move over a little bit. But in the end, the more we start talking to them and telling them what to do, the more aware they are of the cameras, and and then they start performing. And generally, these people are not actors. Like, it's not, and it's going to feel it feels so bogus. Like, even just little things like where they sit starts to feel like not right. But that's again too where I think that part of, because there's no such thing as pure observational filmmaking. Like, we're in the room and we're changing the situation, but that relationship that you have with the subjects is important, that we have with them. Right. Not the director certainly is important, but oftentimes they're not in the room while things are happening. Right. But that's where, if you have the relationship and you just let them sit where they want, I don't know how many times it's been like, they're comfortable and they already know that I'm in the room, that I might come up and say, would you mind just, like, when it makes sense, would you mind if you come back, go sit in that chair instead? Right. And then they'll do it. And then it's like, it never disrupted anything. Right. They just took a note and did it. But it's when somebody come barging through the room and it's like, wait, this doesn't, let me see what happens when you move over here. And now it's like, okay, now we're directing actors and the whole thing is off. Just be subtle about it. Yeah. And then the next thing that happens, because I'm sure you've seen this happen, the next place we're filming with them at a cafe somewhere, and they look over at me like, where should I sit? Where should I
Like
sit?
in the middle of a scene, which actually was going really well, is vérité, I'm following, this is great, everything's going great. And they turn and look at me as like, where do I go now? And it's like, oh, damn, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah, there's no end to a scene
Yeah,
anymore. Because
yeah.
then they'll just like say, and they're like, did you get what you need?
Yeah, we got to hang out sometime soon. For real.
We got it. Yeah. Let's make it happen.
Awesome.
All right. Well, this was great. Thanks,
All right,
Ben.
thanks again. All right, take it easy.
All right. See ya.
Bye. Okay, seems to have worked. Ooh. Do a little tail slate for me.